let's talk about the advancement procedure. So I'm an RCW4 and I think I'm eligible now and I've earned enough course credits and I want to move to an RCW5 or whatever the case may be. How do we go about that process? So up on the slide here, it says the IBW 494 office is the one that's going to be handling the advancement requests. So this is recent. This is a recent change. The JATC historically has handled and processed CWs, all types, all CWs, RCWs, CWs, CEs. As of December 6th, officially the IBW will be handling all of the CWs, RCWs, SoundCom, everybody in those classifications will be processed by the IBW. In the interim, if you come to the JATC requesting advancement, if you go to the IBW requesting advancement, somebody's going to help you. It's not that we're just going to say, nope, you got to wait till December 6th. December 6th is the official date that the IBW is taking that process over. In the meantime, either the JATC or the IBW will get you started on your advancement process. So basically, there's two pieces to every advancement. There's hours worked in the field, residential hours worked in the field, and then the amount of training credits that you've earned. Every advancement tier starts with the training program advancement form. So here you'll see, this is a copy of the training program advancement form. It's available right now. If you go to the JATC or the IBW's website, you'll be able to click on the training programs link. And from there, you'll select your advancement or your program and it'll take you to the advancement form. But here's a quick snapshot of what it looks like. Everything starts with this document. First, or one of the items that you have to get is your hours. You obtain your hours report or your hours printout from the electrical construction industry or ECI office. It's up on off of Watertown Plank or on Plank Court there. 113th roughly in Plank Court. You go in there or you can call there and you can request an hours printout. Couple of things that you need to know. You can pick them up in person or they can actually mail them to you. They will not email the printouts to the members. Okay, so you either got to get it mailed or you pick it up in person. If you have not if you do not have a current address on file with ECI, let's say you call there and you ask for it to be mailed and they find out that you changed addresses, you will have to provide the change of address request in writing to them. They can't do that over the phone. So that's something that you have to be aware of if you're hoping to get your printout of hours mailed to you. Once you've got your printout, you're going to update your form. This is what that printout will look like. It's basically just an Excel spreadsheet and it documents all the hours you've earned over the years and then tallies it up at the bottom here. So you take that printout, you attach it to your training program advancement form. In the little space there where it says how many hours you have, you enter the amount here. In this case, this individual's got 10,232 hours. That's where they fill it in and attach the report to the form. So that's the hours piece. The other piece is the training credits. How many training credits have you earned? So by far, the easiest way to determine that is to set up your trade school account. And you can log right into trade school and see exactly how many residential training credits you've earned. Okay, it keeps track of those in your training history. Okay, so for example, here I'm going to get back to the trade school page here. So this is my account page here. If I go under my account, there's CEU training tab. Under that account, under that tab, it shows every class I've taken, and then all the way over to the right here, there's two columns: SoundCom credits, RESI credits. Scroll down, it shows the courses that I've taken and if they were eligible for credits. That's your training record, so you can take a screenshot of this, print it out, take that into the IBW, attach it to the form, and that's your proof. That is by far the fastest and easiest way. Have your trade school account set up, log in, obtain that information. You've got a real live up-to-date tally of your training program credits. Alternatively, if you don't have a trade school account set up and you need that information, you can call the JATC and then we can get a printout of that over to the IBW or to you to take over to the IBW as well. That information, we'll email it to you if you need us to. We can email it directly to the IBW as well if needed. Again, here's what that looks like. Your training history, SoundCom credits. In this case, I've got 7 SoundCom credits earned. I would fill, or 8 SoundCom, sorry, 8. I can't even add tonight. That's, it's been a long day. 8 SoundCom credit, 8 residential credits earned.
Residential,
Yeah,
residential. Yeah.
So I've got my 8 residential credits earned. I would fill it in there. And now I can take that with the printouts to the IBW and they're going to tell me that I need 4 more credits before I can advance to the next tier. So this brings up another potential way to get training credits. If you've taken any classes at the JATC over the course of your career that are eligible for residential training program credits. For example, NFPA 70, maybe you've taken that in the last 3 years, or you're current on CPR first aid and AED. Those types of trainings are worth residential credits. If you've taken our conduit bending class, that's worth 8 residential training credits. All you have to do is let us know that you've taken that class. Not all of our historical records are in trade school yet. They will be, but if you took a class 5 years ago, it might not be in trade school to date, but we do have those paper records and we can find that out for you.
So is there a time frame, like how many years back you're gonna allow people to go?
We only have records that go back 10 years. So that would be the
10
time
years
frame.
is the
10 years
Okay.
is the time frame.
All right, just so everybody understands that also, that they can go back over those 10 years.
The other thing that is available or potential for earning credits is if you've taken a class elsewhere, or what we would call a non-JATC class. So let's say you took DC theory at MATC. You could, on that same advancement form, there's a section on there that gives you the ability to write in classes that you've taken outside of the JATC. Then the JATC will evaluate those courses and potentially give you credits based on that class or the class description or who taught the class and what it all contained. There's a few more steps that need to be done. It's not just as simple as saying, hey, my name's John Smith, I took this class, I want credit. You actually have to show us some documentation. So you would write in here, okay, in 2019, I took a DC theory class at MATC. It was 32 hours long. We are also, if you look in the notes there on the form, we need to see some kind of official roster or attendance sheet showing that you actually took the class, participated and passed. Some documentation showing, if it's a completion certificate, if there was a certification earned of some sort, a syllabus or some type of description. For MATC, it would be out of their course catalog and any, maybe textbook or whatnot that was part of that class that you purchased. Something that we can actually do an honest evaluation of the course and see if it lines up with that class's learning objectives and core competencies line up with the ones that we identified for our class. And if we feel that it's equivalent to or better, we're going to give you the credits we would if you have taken the class through us. But there's some legwork involved. Like I said, you got to get that information. So that evaluation of that course is done at the JATC. So that information, if you've ever gone through the tuition reimbursement process, it's very similar. You submit the course information, and then the JATC evaluates it to make sure that it's applicable. Once we've done that evaluation, so once you've given us the information that we need and we determine that it's eligible for credit, we will enter that into your training history as a non-JATC class. So when you go back in your trade school account, it'll show up on your trade school record. It'll say DC theory / non-JATC class. And then it'll also say how many residential training credits you were given for that. So it'll be available in your history moving forward. You won't have to keep, showing somebody that documentation. It'll just be part of your JATC training record.
Now, up to this point, Kyle, you've been talking about classes that they've taken in the past.
Correct.
What about the procedure, and is there any difference in procedure for going forward? If they wanted to take a non-JATC course somewhere, do they have to pre-register or pre-approve that, or can they handle this the same way?
So that's a great point, Dan. So I would strongly recommend you get it pre-approved by the JATC. You could absolutely roll the dice and take the class, and maybe it's a scenario where you want to take the class one way or another, but if I get credit for it, great. If not, well, that's okay too. But if your sole intent is to get training credits for it, I would strongly suggest you get that pre-approved by the JATC. Not that you take an 8-week long or a 10-week long class only to find out that you're not going to get credit for it. But the procedure is very similar. I would just do it ahead of time so you know for sure that you're going to get credit.
Yeah. And that's a good train of thought for them.
Yeah, that's a great point. So here's my old form. I had 8 training credits. I've now updated to 16 because I had that DC theory course that I took at MATC. I attach all my documentation now, take that back to the IBW office, sign and date it, turn it in, and they will review it, make sure everything is accurate. And once all of that has been approved, because if you look there, you've got 16 credits now, so you hit that 12 credit mark to get to the next tier. The IBW will take care of the reclassification and then notify all of the other parties involved, because obviously the JATC needs to know that you're at a different classification now. The ECI office, your employer, all of that, all those entities need to know the IBW will be the one making that notification.